Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ATA tutorials and greetings. Today we finish up our series on payroll. This is the number that we did last time on work rate, and today we are focusing on this number 2, the system for the time rate system, where we pay employees depending on the amount of time that they have worked. So we begin straight away. But in this last number, we forgot to determine the net pay. And we said the net pay is simply by getting the gross pay minus all the mandatory deductions like NSSF pay as you earn prepayments. So when you compute that, you get the net pay. So we can do that in a second. We say net pay, create a column for net pay here. And we say net pay is equal to gross pay, then minus NSSF, minus local service tax, minus pay as you earn. So when I press enter and autofill, you should be in position of having that net pay. So you can go on and you place in your border. So if you have not yet watched the video when we prepared this payroll, which is on work rate system, then you can please first check in the description where I'll put the link. Then you can follow up on it before you go for the one for time rate. So we move. I'll open sheet 2. Then I post the number. This is the number we're going to do for time rate, where they're saying must add the following details relating to hours worked by employees for the month of October 2018. So these are the employees, and they are showing us how many hours they work each and every month. Then when you move down here, you see we have all this information that we have to extract. Then we create an electronic payroll. This is what is required, that your payroll should be use an appropriate program design suitable for payroll for that month. So the most suitable is Excel. So I'm simply going to pick these employees right here, okay? Then I take them to my Excel sheet, which I've created here, sheet 2. So I simply paste this. For me, I prefer to use the font of Times New Roman. So we can make this store off, then try to maximize these cells. So you can shorten this and call it hours worked, so that we don't go very far. Then we can simply call this names. Okay, you can say names. Okay. Then I create a column here. I say number or serial number. You can say serial number. So we have 1 equal to 1 plus 1 plus the previous cell. So I can now autofill and have my number like that. So I have simply separated the number and the names. So this is how our template looks like. So we can begin with what they are actually asking for here in the question. We go back to our question here. So they're saying the basic working week is 10 hours. So there are 4 weeks in a month. So this simply means that in order for you to get paid, so if we are going to determine the basic pay, because it's the first thing you must look for when you're preparing a payroll, in order for you to be paid, then you must have worked for 10 hours in a week. But then in a month, we have 4 weeks. So that means the basic working hours will simply be 4 times 10. So if you have not like if you have not hit 40 hours, okay, in a month, then you don't qualify to get paid. So if we check here in the people that we are having here, all of them, at least they have worked for 40 hours. So part B, they are telling us that the hourly wage rate is 10,000. So each hour is paid 10,000. So we are required to determine the basic pay from this information of A and B. So we're going to check whoever that has worked for over 40 hours, then we must award them the basic pay, which will be 40,000 times the hourly rate. Rather, 40 hours times the hourly rate, which is 10,000. So we are going to do that real quick. Like I always tell you, if you need practice questions, you check these questions. You can always check our email, or this is our WhatsApp. Then we can always send you the questions for you to practice. Okay, so I'm going to create a column here for basic pay. So how are you going to determine that? We are going to say that, so of course we shall use the if formula, and I've told you each formula starts with equal signs. So I'll say equal signs if, then I open brackets. Sorry. If I open brackets here, if here I will use this cell to represent all the hours. If you have worked for less than, okay, for less than 40 hours, then automatically for you will not get paid. So I will put a 0. Then I continue and say, I put a full stop and say, if I open brackets and say, if you, like, I click in this cell, if you have worked for more than or equal to 40 hours, then for you, you're going to get paid 10,000, which is the rate, then times the 40 hours, which are the basic working hours in a month. So I close brackets here. Then I test if my formula is correct. Then I autofill. So if you realize all these people hit the target of 40 hours. So that's why you see all of them, they have been rewarded 400,000 as their basic pay. We move. Part C is saying the first 3 hours, I want you to pay attention here. Saying the first 3 hours of overtime are paid at an hourly wage rate of 10,000. Okay, you first note this. Then next they are saying the excess overtime hours are paid at a double time rate. So what does that mean? It simply means that if you have, of course the threshold is 40 hours in a month, but then if you exceed 40 hours in a month, they are telling us that the first 3 hours they will give you 10,000 for them. So for someone who has worked for 40 hours, he cannot get, because he has not worked overtime. The one who will get is for 41, for 42, and 43, and 43 and above. Okay, because they are saying the first, so I'm going to first deal with this which I have highlighted in yellow. So I want you to stay with me and please pay attention. So this is how I'm going to enter this. So our first bonus will be for overtime. Now for their scheme, they're telling us that if you have worked for more than 40 hours, the first 3 hours, they are going to award them at a rate of 10,000. So my overtime formula, I'll put it like this. I'll say create a condition which will satisfy what they are trying to tell us. I'll say if, I open bracket, if these for like the basic working hours are less or equal to 40, because those automatically they don't have overtime. Overtime starts with 41, 42, 43 going up. So those ones automatically we shall reward them with 0. Okay? Then I put a comma. I put now a condition which is going to cater for those who are between 41, okay, who are between 40 and 43. So I will say if I open brackets, this basic pay, okay, is no, the basic working hours is less, sorry, is is less is less than 43, less than 43, then that person, we're going to pay him, because the rate is 10,000 times the excess hours through the 40. So I click in the hours, then I subtract 40. So that is catering for those people who are between 43, no, who are between 41, like 40 and 43. So we are meaning 41 and then 42. This condition is going to cater for them. So I close this bracket, then I continue. Now I want to cater for those who are having 43, because 43 and above, for them, they have worked for the first 3 hours, and those first 3 hours, they must be rewarded the full 10,000. So those who are earning, so I'll say if you have worked, I click in the basic pay for more than, okay, more than or equal, more or equal to 43, then automatically those people are going to be paid, they're going to be paid 10,000 times, because for them they have hit the threshold, times the excess hours will be 3. So they are going to earn 10,000 times those 3 hours. So I put brackets, then I test and see whether my formula is correct. So let us see. So you see our formula is correct. This one, Sange Juliet, number 10, 40 hours. So that's why she's getting 0. This one of 43 is getting 30 because has hit the target. Then the one of 42 is getting 20,000, which is the 42 minus the 40, the difference. So his excess hours is only 2. That's why he's getting 20,000. Then the one of 41, his excess hour or her excess hour overtime is 1 hour. That's why he's getting 10,000. So we move. Before we go to part D, there is this which I marked purple. The excess overtime hours. Now the excess overtime hours start from 43 hours. So those who are who are working for 43 hours and above, we shall create an extra bonus scheme for them, which is called excess overtime. So I'll say excess overtime, and they are giving us a condition. So that means automatically those who have worked for 43 and below, those ones they cannot get. We shall only award those who have worked so hard beyond 43 hours. This scheme is for only those who have worked beyond 43 hours. So we shall say equal signs if I open brackets, if these basic working hours are less or equal, because even the one for 43 won't get, then those ones automatically will get 0. Put a comma, then I say if, again open brackets, if these hours are greater than 43, okay, then we are going to award these people how much? Their difference which they are having, the difference is of course their excess hours. So I put the difference minus 43, okay, and I put a bracket. Then all of this which I've put in bracket, I multiply, because they are saying they are awarding them those extra hours at a double hourly rate. So how do you enter that? You multiply by the rate, which is 10,000, then again you multiply by 2 because it is double. Then I test if my formula is correct. I put the necessary brackets, then I press enter, and then we prove and see whether the thing is correct. So you see this person, it is 48 minus 43, giving us 5 extra hours. Now 5 times 20,000, which is the double hourly wage rate, then it gives us 100. So that's how you confirm. You see the one of 50 hours, it is 50 minus 43 times 20,000, giving us 140. Yes, 50 minus 43, it gives us 7. Then 7 times 20,000, it gives us 40, 140. So that is how you test the formula if it is correct. So it is simply a matter of understanding the condition. Then you satisfy it uh, through the if condition that you put there. So let us move, people. They are telling us, there is another, I'm moving today, that the housing allowance in lieu of housing facilities, it is 40% of the basic pay for all employees not staying. Now this is where you have to pay attention. Not staying in the university houses. Employee number 3, 8, and 10, we are staying in the university houses, and we are each being charged 85,000 for utilities, which is water and power, for each month. So we have to pay attention. If you notice, this is an allowance for housing facilities for those employees who are not staying in the university. But then those who are staying in the university, and they are saying 3, 8, and 10 stay in the university, those ones, they are actually charged. So this is not an allowance. No, they are the employees who actually pay for this service. So how are you going to enter this? We shall start with the one of housing allowance. But before we compute the housing allowance, we shall not allow you to do it manually. No, we shall first create a column to show whether these people are staying in the house. So the staying status, I'll create a column here, which is just a memoranda column that I want to use to identify employees who are staying in the university and those that are not staying in the university. So if you notice, they have told us that, so I use two things. I use S, capital S, to represent those who stay in the university. Then I use N, capital N, to represent those who are not staying in the university. So let us see. 3, 8, and 10 stay in the university. So 3, 8, and 10, I put S to denote that. So where is it? 3 is here. I put an S. Okay. Capital S. 3, 8, and 10. 8 is here. I put an S. Then 10 is here. I put an S. So these stay in the university. So what does that imply? The rest of the employees do not stay in the university. So I denote that by N. I denote that by N. Okay. Now I've created a column to show me the status of those who stay there. Why we do this is that if you have so many employees, are you really going to compute 40% for each? So those who have N are going to get a 40% because they're saying those who are not staying there, we shall give them 40% of their basic pay. So this is a condition that I'm going to create. So I will say housing. I can call it housing allowance. Then I put a formula. I say equal sign. If here, sorry, first put if. Yes, it's an if formula. I open brackets. I'm trying to say that if I click here in the staying status, if the staying status is equal to, you listen, if the staying status is equal to S, but then when you are putting a non-figure, which is now this is an alphabet, you must put that character in quotations. So I would say if the staying status is S, I close this, then automatically we shall give them 0 because we have said those who stay in the university we are not going to give them. Then if I open bracket, the staying status is equal to N. You listen, is equal to N, then we shall give them 40%, okay? shall give them 40% of, so of we mean times, of their basic pay here. Okay, so that is my condition. I test it and see whether it is working. So you see, all those who are not staying, those who have N, those who are not staying in the university, they have awarded them 160,000 as their housing allowance. We move. Now for this one, you must put, like if you are in an exam and you have a pencil, you mark it because you shall put it under the deductions. This is not an allowance, it is actually a charge. So the 85,000 of those who are staying, it is a utility bill. Then there is a top-up allowance of 30% of the basic wage for all employees. This one is quite simple. It's for all employees. So I can say top up, top up allowance. Top up allowance, we're going to say, I first create, there is a hack I gave you, have to lock the cell. So they've told us it is 30. It's 30%. Good. So I first put 30% here. Okay. Then I come where I want to put, say equal signs, press in the basic pay, then times this cell where I have 30%. But then before you apply it, we advise you that please you first lock the cell. So you come here and put a dollar sign. Then you come here in between the characters, you also put a dollar sign. Then you can successfully apply it to your employees. Okay, we move, ladies and gentlemen, we move. That is top up allowance. Done. Then there is transport allowance. Is at 20,000 each working week for all employees. So every week they give them 20,000 for all employees. So we shall simply get 20,000, we multiply by 4 weeks, which are in a month, because we are preparing a payroll for the month. So I will say transport is this is very direct. It is 20,000, then times 4. Okay, it's quite easy. Then I can apply to the other employees. We move, stay with me. Now we are going to the deduction. So for you not to forget these deductions that we have, you get it? These deductions that we have, which is 85,000. Let us start with the 85,000, which we know, and we are saying all those that do not stay. No, all those that stay in the university, we are going to charge them 85,000 for utilities. So I come and create here a formula. So before I go to the deductions, we have to determine what we call the gross wage or the gross pay. So gross pay will be equal to, I get the basic pay, okay? I add this overtime, I add this excess overtime, I add this housing, I add the top-up allowance, I add the transport. So when I click there, then apply to the next cells, you realize that we are having our gross pay. So we go to this side of gross wage. No, the deductions, mandatory deductions. So we start with utilities, because they are telling us those who stay in the university, they are charging them utilities. So this is my formula. Utilities, it is 85,000. Okay. So I come here and say equal signs if. So this only applies to those who stay in the rooms. If, now I refer to the staying status. If the staying status is equal to not staying, then we shall give them 0, because for them they do not pay anything. Then if the staying status if the staying status, this one, is equal to N, okay, is equal to S rather, sorry, is equal to S, then we are going to charge them 85,000 per month. So I close and test if my formula is correct. So now you notice all those employee 10, 8, and 3, they are paying a bill of 85,000. We move. These other deductions, we have local service tax. I'm not going to do this. If you want to check that, because the formula cannot change for local service tax, please you go to the first video that we did, then you can see how we enter these rates. I'm not going to repeat this, ladies and gentlemen. We have already done this, and in a Ugandan setting, really these charges do not change. They have not yet changed. They haven't made any amendment. So you can go and check how we compute the local service tax. The another one is NSSF. We also did that in the first video. I think I'm skipping it as well because it is 5% of the gross wage. That is the statutory rate, 5%. Then for pay as you earn, we also entered this formula. It has also not yet changed. We shall only do an update of this video when these rates change in Uganda. But these rates are still the same. But there is a proposal in the government for those who are earning beyond 10 million, they want to start charging 40%. Then the threshold will move from 235,000 to 335,000. But all those changes have not yet been made. So we want to, if you really want to know how we enter the pay as you earn formula, then we also refer to the first video that we did. So when there is a loan repayment here. Have installments. Final employment for employee number 2, 6, and 5. So it means these people are taking loans and now they are paying back. So there is no we can enter this using a formula. You simply take it there manually. So I can paste for reference. So I will have loan, but then before that, you'll have your LST here, local service tax. You have NSSF here, and also pay as you earn, which I'm telling you that all these three, we covered them under the first video. So we are going to say refer to the first video. The rates are the same, please. Okay, we move. So that loan installment, if you also have it, loan installment, you put for employee number 2. Number 2 is here. They're saying it is 50,000. Employee number 6, you put the money, it is 30,000. Then number 5, no, number 6 is this. Then number 5 is also 8,000. So after doing all that, you come here and you compute what we call the net pay. How do we compute the net pay, ladies and gentlemen? It's quite easy. We say equal signs. You have this gross wage. You subtract utilities. You subtract local service tax. You subtract NSSF. You subtract pay as you earn. You subtract the final loan installment. So when you press enter and then apply to all these other, then you'll be able to have your payroll ready. So I advise you never stop here, always beautify your work. Yes, you put here the borders, Then you can insert all those. You know how to do the formatting. So I hope this is helpful, and people, I think this is the end for the end of our series on payroll. If you have any specific questions, you can always reach out to us on our contacts here. If you want practice questions, you can still reach us. If you feel like what we are doing is good, please, we request you that you give us a subscription so that you do not miss out on the next videos that we shall be dropping, especially in accounting, taxation, and computerized accounts. So we thank you so much, and good luck. Good luck in your practice. Thank you. Good day.